Uncensored Radio, Real Talk Roundtable. Real life, real laughs, real talk.
Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Real Talk Roundtable. It's been a little minute since we've had one. So I've got some friends and family of the UCR team joining us today. Of course, we have the king of all things UCR, Mr. Jeffrey Emmett. How are you today, sir?
Honey, I've been better.
You've been better, but you're here, you're ready, you're feeling good to share.
Yeah.
Jeff's always ready to share. Katie McCarthy is also here today, ready to jump on the round table and scream about injustice in the world, as she does. Right?
After she takes one of her My True 10 gummies.
I'd like to see her. I'd like to see her after one of those.
I'm fun.
And we have some new blood joining us today. We have Mr. Dillon Cody joining us. Hi, from Manchester United, apparently.
Yeah, well, I'm not directly in Manchester. I'm in Auburn, New York, but, you know, I keep the vibe going everywhere.
Close enough, close enough. And, of course, our newest little bunny, Miss Heidi, is also joining us. First round table for you guys. This is going to be fun. Oh, are you nervous? Are you scared? Are you excited? Are you all the things?
Are you ready to bare your soul?
Yeah. No?
Okay.
They're not answering. They're just like,
Nope.
sitting and they're smiling.
Cool.
I thought we were going to bust
To be
out
fair,
into the
I was
Madonna
frozen
song.
for a hot second. I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm excited to
Okay,
hear about
that's
all
good.
of you as well.
Well, if you go back, you can hear all our life stories, but that's okay.
Pretty much.
It's all good. So today, guys, we're kicking it old school, grabbing a drink, sitting around the round table and discussing, I'm not going to say everyone's favorite topic, but a very universal topic. Today, we're talking about breakups.
Hold on. Let me take a sip. Hold on.
Yeah, it's definitely a sip-worthy show from your uncensored radio mug.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
delicious.
Anytime there's a breakup,
Oh, God.
you got to listen to Katie Underwood's
Oh, my
mantra
God.
to help get you
He's
through
still
the
going.
evening. Absolutely.
Alrighty, guys, let me hit you with some statistics as we normally do on this show. So, America, here we go. 52%, not 52, 58% of Americans, 62% women, and 55% men say that breakups are usually both dramatic or messy or both.
Yes.
How do we feel about dramatic, messy breakups? Katie, you spoke up first, so you can hit us off today.
Well, I haven't been broken up with in almost 10 years now. Actually, it's coming up on that anniversary now that I think about it. It's been about 10 years since I was last broken up with, but I would describe it very messy and dramatic. And
That's the way it's got to be, right?
yeah, pretty much. I guess that's what a way to send your last breakup off, right? Like, very messy, very dramatic.
So do you think the fact that this amount of people are saying that they're messy and dramatic breakups indicates that there's some kind of emotion there? Because you see a lot of people that just simply fall out of love and go, it's over, and they can do a clean break. But this messy and dramatic thing usually is because of outside factors, right, Jeff?
I don't know why you pointing that on me.
Well,
my last big one was, a mess because of cash flow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I realized the income was going to change. And it didn't have to, but there was no way that I could be in all those places at once. So that was very upsetting to me when you realize that your life as you know it is going to end and you can't afford the maid or the nanny.
That's not good. That's not good. What about you, Mr. Dillon? Have your relationships broken up in a dramatic / messy way, or are you just a clean cut kind of guy?
I think every single one has been followed by mentally disturbing depression and absolute sorrow because all of my breakups fucking suck. The most recent one I had was literally last time I saw her was on my birthday, and then she broke up with me like a month later. During the pandemic, so that was bullshit. And messy and is literally like our style. And the biggest problem I think is that because especially with my generation, millennials, we are so driven by attention and having it, getting everyone's that when we break up with someone, we don't want to look like we were the pathetic one sitting on the sidelines. We literally make a whole post about it, Facebook post, and shit like that. I didn't do that. I literally just sat in my room and cried for about 3 months. So,
at least you're honest.
Excuse me,
You kept
as
it private.
a millennial,
Nice.
I'm not always seeing
listen,
attention,
we do it
but
differently.
Messy.
It's just the biggest problem is that like no one really knows how to be like when you don't like someone and you don't love someone. I don't understand why people can't just outright say it, get it over with, get it done in a cordial and adult fashion. Instead, we go and do stupid shit like go behind people's backs or cheat or, literally make commotion on social media or send subliminal messages under the line. I don't know. But messy, dramatic is literally like the catchphrase of an American relationship.
I don't think it's necessarily American, right, Heidi? Like, don't bust your wad too soon. We're gonna get to it.
I won't. But
just an overview.
I will say, in accordance to your question, I wrote the blueprint for messy breakups with my last relationship. But I do think there is emotion attached to every messy breakup, whether it's sadness or anger. That's up for debate. It depends on the situation. But 100%, I think with every messy breakup, there's some kind of, negative emotion attached to that, definitely. So,
or not even necessarily,
I guess.
Not even necessarily negative emotion. I think a lot of the times it's that emotion that you put into the relationship that is no longer working. So you have to find somewhere else and some other way of doing it. So whether that becomes nasty or whether that becomes suspicious or whether that becomes paranoid or something like that it kind of takes place of what that was originally. So the statistics the statistics on adult breakups indicate that couples that have been together longer are less likely to break up. I don't necessarily know about that. Does anyone have big feelings? All right, Dillon's going to go first. Go, Dillon.
Okay.
No, I mean, you would hope that a longer-lasting relationship or marriage would have less likelihood of ending in an ending, but I don't think that's the case. I think, honestly, I don't think it really matters. Once you find, what you said earlier, like once what was working before isn't working now, it's hard for people to come up with a plan B. And say you're in like a 25-year marriage, and now all of a sudden you realize you don't love your husband or your wife anymore. I don't even know how you even fathom even trying to figure that out without going insane. And that frustration between you and trying to figure out what would work better is getting to your spouse, and then she gets frustrated because you're frustrated, and it just continues the perpetual cycle of just going back and forth until it eventually breaks down. I don't think it matters how long you've been together. My longest relationship has been 2 years. That shit broke down like I don't even know. So I admire anyone, no matter how long it took them to get married or whenever, to stay committed to a relationship, because that is not easy at all.
And it's definitely hard to keep the idea of the romance and that kind of, that you're never going to have that first spark for like 25, that moment when you're, I'm so obsessed with you, everything you do is amazing and da-da-da-da-da. That becomes hard in the long term. And then when do you separate love from habit and going, well, this is just what I'm used to, so I'm going to stick with it, which I think a lot of like, boomers, for lack of a better term, older generations, they go by that ideal and mentality of things are fixable. You don't throw things away that, a lot of times they couldn't be divorced. They couldn't break up with their spouse for various reasons. Do you think it's because we've made it a little bit easier these days that it can be that, it can be a little bit easier? Katie, you're the married woman on the panel. You've got authority here.
I don't know how much authority I actually have, but kind of playing off of what Dillon said, I mean, it does and it doesn't matter how long you've been together. I mean, my last breakup, we were together on and off for years, and I feel like we were always kind of breaking up and getting back together, and it was always dramatically getting back together or dramatically breaking up. And in the end, it's like maybe we just didn't have a good foundation, because we're better friends than we were together, honestly. And with my husband, we've been together, it'll be 10 years in December, and we'll be married 9 in April. And I feel like there's a good foundation there. I feel like he still makes me laugh. I feel like I can still talk to him about anything. I feel like I can still be vulnerable, and I still learn new things about him, and still like him even though he smells. And I don't
That
know.
was quick, bitch.
Yeah, that was about to say that. You guys just went, okay, I like this person. Let's go.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I mean,
Go ahead, we'll wait.
all right, are we going into our breakup stories? Because he was the rebound that never ended.
Oh no, official rebound that just stuck around, hey?
Well, like, it was after my bad breakup. It was my birthday. I was depressed, and he offered to take me out for a drink, and I said, sure, why not? And just kind of thought, all right, I'm done trying to be the nice girl in a relationship. I'm just gonna go have some fun. Couldn't get rid of him.
Girl, who knew you
around.
liked the burnt pancake? Who knew?
Oh, so that guy, he was persistent. I appreciate any man that can keep up with it, because just coming from the perspective of a guy who's like has not gotten the relationship down right. I admire any man that continually does not fuck up, because I have a strange feeling if we would poll how many people. Listen, no, slow down. You were going great. Don't ruin it now. Don't ruin it. Be positive. Think of him in a very positive light. Don't hate him yet. It's been
we're all putting our hopes on you, Katie.
I beg you.
Well, no.
Please endure.
Well, Dillon, I'd be lying to you if I said it was a perfect marriage, because we do have fights. But, the important thing is that we can talk to each other about it. We don't just say, I was right, you were wrong, fuck off. I mean, it does happen occasionally.
But this is the thing.
It's usually me saying I'm right, you're wrong, fuck off.
But this is the thing, and I'm going to go to Heidi with this one. There isn't any such thing as a perfect relationship, right?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think everyone has, for a relationship, for me, the only way it's going to work is if you're the best version of yourself, they're the best version of themselves, you two come together and you bring out the best in each other. There are going to be discrepancies and downfalls along the way. It's how you deal with that. You know what I mean? Anger is a very easy emotion to feel for the majority of people. I'm not going to go to the extent of saying everyone, but I think it's how you collectively work together. I don't think some things need to be worked through. I think it should be a black and white situation, but that's my opinion. But again, that's really all I have to say on the matter.
No, and it was perfectly said.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So a lot of the time, when there does become an issue in a relationship, it's about compromises. Yeah, some people are willing to compromise certain aspects of their lives or their day-to-day whatever to stay with the person that they have feelings for. My question is, how much of yourself do you compromise to be with someone else? Jeffrey, you haven't spoken, so you can.
I don't know
first.
what you're talking about. I haven't spoken. Okay. How much? All of yourself, really? Right? Like, you're not being who you are if you're trapped in a relationship that's not copacetic.
Copacetic, I like it.
I think it depends on what you're compromising about, though. Wouldn't you think?
I agree.
No way.
I think you very specific when you're starting to compromise things like faith or any personal habit that is a lot more in touch with someone, because I don't know what the turnover rate is of people who don't get along coming from different sides of the aisle in terms of where their faith is at, but I know that's a huge compromise someone probably has to make internally, unless they're not that in tune with it where they don't care.
Well, why? I mean, why do you have to? If somebody, let's say, is a hardcore Catholic and you're an atheist, Why should that even affect your relationship? You want to go to church, go to church.
No,
you don't
yeah,
want to go
it
to
shouldn't
church,
at
don't
all.
go.
But
that's
yeah,
it's still
being a
kind
grown
of
up,
it's
right?
still
Like,
kind of different, and I'm just trying to think of like a good way to describe it, but something that's really going to like put it like drive a nail in between you two. Like
one of you want kids and one doesn't.
that would
Exactly.
be one of them.
That's
that
one
would
of
be
them.
one of them.
That's a
big
huge one. Like that's another one. Like having kids versus not having kids. Because I definitely have broken up with, because I want to be a dad someday. I would love to have that opportunity to raise a family.
Jeff's got
I
got some volunteers for you if you'd like.
Everyone's like, no, like I don't want your fucking kids. I just want like.
Listen.
Very well done. Very well done. You don't want any fucking kids.
So we're going to go into the hows and whys because we've just started. So how and why do couples break up? Experiencing communication issues is one of the top reasons why people split up. So the inability to communicate, like I'm having one now, is cited as the most common reason for a marriage breakup. About 65% of people from this survey in 2021 said. When do you think that happens? Because I think that when you obviously go through that honeymoon phase at the beginning of a relationship where you're still the best version of yourself and going, oh, this is the TV primetime version of me that people see. But little by little, that has to fall away. You can't keep that up unless you're that person 24/7, which props to you. But you have a bad day, you get headaches, you get chronic diarrhea, stuff like that happens, and you have to, you have to fall away. But obviously, when the communication breaks down and you can't be clear about what you want or need from a relationship or what you expect from a partner, that's a big problem. Heidi, right?
100% it is a big problem. Yeah, definitely. I think communication is one of the first literally topics of convo that needs to be had, because not everyone needs to be communicated in the same way. There's things like love languages where just because you feel loved by a certain act doesn't mean the other person is going to feel the same way. I point blank refuse to get into another relationship where the other person is incapable of communicating everything to me, because being the Sagittarius that I am, I love details. I love knowing everything. And I do think communication is where the downfall happens. And a lot of the time, I think it comes from stagnancy. Do you know what I mean? Like along the way, it becomes stagnant.
Definitely.
And the communication.
Things become habit. Things become habit. And
that's right. Comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think, though, communication, right, is only part of it. And everybody focuses on lack of communication, but you can have all the communication in the world. If there's no follow through to go with communication, you can talk to your blue in the face, baby. But if nobody's doing anything about the communication and not working together, it just matters to communicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have communication with follow through, darling.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Well, yeah, as Katie was saying before, it is easy and lovely when it's new and lovely, but think day-to-day things get in the way. Little people with legs and needs and voices come into the equation, and other people's families and jobs and all that kind of thing.
Bad sex.
Yeah, look, that's part of it as well. But how
I'm so glad
it's a juggling act, right, Katie?
It is. And Kyle and I both work full time. He's got a horrible schedule, working swing shifts that go from day to night and night to day. And you've got a kid in school and a kid in daycare. And you've got PTO and karate and t-ball. And when do you have time for each other? You've got to set some time aside to be adults together and to just kind of turn off your phones and focus on each other.
Or not set your kids up for so much shit to do.
Listen.
Yeah, that's a ball thing.
That is universal pandemic at the moment.
Listen.
Parents want to give their kids everything that they ever wanted to do. So if a child expresses half a glance at something, they add that to the roster. as Heidi knows, owning a dance school, these kids these days don't just dance. They do cross country, they do netball, they do basketball, they do swimming, they do blah blah blah, they do dance at school. No. They've got to go to school camp, and it's like commit to what it's great to want to taste the rainbow, yeah, but commitment matters, and I find that in day-to-day life as well.
Who is paying for all that shit?
Exactly,
right?
Expensive.
I never said it was cheap. I just said we did it.
Wait until we're gonna talk about people's kids on an upcoming roundtable. That one's gonna be. I'm gonna gather the parents around, and we're gonna talk them kids.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids.
That's
And
gonna.
if that offends you,
Punk
fuck
ass.
you and them kids.
When we say fuck them kids, we don't really mean fuck them kids.
We don't mean
kids.
like
No, we really do.
the church.
No,
we don't
mean
mean like
fuck
the
them
church.
kids.
Fuck
It's
them
an
kids. We
inside
mean
joke. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like full-time parents. People with kids, if you're offended, fuck you and them kids.
So we've already discussed disagreements on essential issues can cause couples to break up. Obviously, lifestyle is 33%. So I guess there's a lot of people that once they couple up, they want to settle down, or some person wants to still have a life. I think that we all go through that phase of, especially when you first meet someone, you turn into like hermit, king, or queen of the world. You're like they're putting up missing persons posters. Like, where is this person? I don't know where this person is. And guilty as, I am very, very guilty of it. I disappeared for a good, nearly a year. And then you go, oh, right, you have a life outside of that. Anyone else? No? Just me?
No, I kind of did.
Bitch, if you can't hang with my friends, you can't hang with me. Okay, my friends are coming with
period.
me. We on an anniversary dinner. We going out for our anniversary. Guess what? All of our crew's coming too. We'll meet you for happy hour. No. Bitch, bros before hoes for a reason. My girlfriends are more important in my relationship. You can be replaced. They're not gonna be. They were here before you. They're gonna be here after you.
Yeah.
No.
That's the thing. It's like when you've got that person then either has to fit into your world, or
and vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa.
Yeah, we have to also.
That depends. We can talk about that later.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other goddamn.
That is a whole other thing. Trust me. Or your world changes, and some of those friendships teeter off. And even now, I'm kind of reconnected with people that I kind of lost connection with, and this is an epic time away. But since the breakup of that relationship, but. It's like, oh, okay. You're like, we used to hang out all day, every day, and then I kind of disappeared on you. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're going to be like that other dude that used to work on this show, who he's tried to start dating some fucking weirdo from the show, who was a fan, who was a little psychotic, and then he quit over the dude.
Nah, it wouldn't be me, girl. I'm old and bitter. I'm old and bitter now. My relationship is with uncensored radio. Uncensored radio.
You can go listen to that drama on Apple, Spotify, wherever podcast.
Look, if you want to marathon, which we'd appreciate, if you want to marathon the entire life cycle from unscripted radio to uncensored radio as it is now,
and all the drama
drama in between, Blog Talk Radio is the place to go.
Fights and 90s TV stars going at it.
Thousands of hours worth of stuff to listen to.
Yeah, you can go catch up with Ricky Lake, the Power Rangers, the crew from all that, the chick from HGTV,
but the best is yet to come. But we'll talk about that later. So anyway, we don't know what to talk about. There could be secret things happening. 38% of respondents to this survey say that infidelity is the main reason for wanting a romantic relationship to end. Who wants to hit this first?
Okay.
Jeffrey, go, Jeff.
Listen, I think this is so old, right? If you want to be monogamous, good. But you need to know who you're getting into bed with. And I just have this rule. I've had so many friends of mine get into a relationship where one or both of them were cheating on their significant other, and then this new relationship formed. And then years go by and they're like, this one's cheating and this one's cheating. What did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to go down? And at this point, if y'all just keep staying together and y'all keep just be in an open relationship and stop the bullshit. Stop getting mad that somebody, if they show you who they are, believe them the first time and don't do it again. If you can't handle it, then you need to move on. Or just get the fuck over it. We're all adults and people make mistakes. Shit happens. It also is a part of life, right? I don't feel like just because somebody cheats, like the relationship has to end either.
It all depends on the couple, honestly. If you guys feel like you can work through it and work through those trust issues, then by all means. As I've gotten older, I've learned that it's not necessarily a deal breaker.
Right.
It's not good
by
any means, but like, when you're younger, you think, oh, he cheated on me, she cheated on me. It's done. It's over. There's no discussion. Just go your separate ways. And if you find your way back to each other, then it's awful. And oh my God, I can't believe they're back together. It's nuanced. There's so much more to it. When I was in a relationship, we were together a while. We were starting to kind of move towards getting a lot more serious. We were moving in together. We were talking about our future. Next thing you know, he's cheating on me. So I did the mature thing and screwed another ex-boyfriend in our bed. But that's not the point.
Absolutely, man. I'm so proud of you. I didn't know you had it in you.
I mean,
petty party.
Spoiler alert, that relationship imploded, but
I feel like, did I give you that advice? Is that after you met me? Because I told all my nieces.
I'm not saying you gave me that advice, but I'm saying you gave me that.
Don't get even, honey. You fucked their best friend, or you whatever. And you're
no,
I
think it was
equal.
I don't know, but
revenge.
It does bring up you did bring up the good thing, a good point. It comes down to the level of trust that you have put into your partner and that they have exhibited to you in the past. Heidi. I feel like this is a good jumping in point for you to share as much as you would like to.
I can't wait.
Look, as far as the story goes, that's a topic. That's a topic of convo. But in regards to what Katie said, I'm actually going to rebut it to a degree. My outlook
a rebuttal.
A rebuttal. My outlook on cheating is, although I agree and I understand that mentality 100%, I think it's a cop-out, to be quite honest. I'm just one of those people that's like, if you're unhappy with your sex life or whatever, like we spoke about before, communication and action has to happen with that partner. Or if you're over it and something else looks tasty, go that way. Don't waste my time. Like if it was personally happening to me, I'd be like, sweet, no worries, no hard feelings, on your bike. There you go.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
Just, it's just less drama.
Sure. Oh, I'm not encouraging anyone to go cheat on your spouse or your partner, but you are definitely right there. Like, if you are unhappy in the relationship, leave. Don't sniff something else out and decide, maybe I'll hold this one on the back burner and try that out. Don't
listen. Sometimes you just don't always want the same thing. Maybe it's fine a bunch of times, but sometimes you just need a little extra snack.
Then shouldn't you have been honest with that at the start?
If they don't know,
that's
can't
right.
hurt them.
Or have that adult be an adult and have a conversation. Don't just go sneaking in people's windows, coming in, raping your wives, taking your children. That kind of thing.
I mean,
have the conversation.
You never know, though. Your partner might want a taste of that too. Like if it's not up.
Yeah, it could be a party.
Exactly.
You never know. You guys could want to open things.
It never ends that way, though. It never ends that way. That's like 1%.
Okay, can any of you?
I've never heard of this
threesomes.
Abby Pollard.
Sorry.
What?
Can any of you do a threesome in a relationship? Could you do that
now, or have I?
Yeah.
No. Could you now, or going forward?
Could I now?
Yeah.
I am. Now, no, because I am not as attractive as I was in my 20s.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, I love that.
What about you?
Precious. What's that?
Hey, what happens in suburbia stays in suburbia, Katie.
Right?
You never know.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if Todd calls, maybe.
I
have been. Well, this is a bit of disclosure.
Do it, Steve.
I have been the third person
Ooh,
Wow.
juicy.
High five.
And
I've been the home wrecker, so trust me.
that relationship stayed strong. Like,
Oh, that's
so
good.
yeah, like
That's good.
I see this. We had this conversation with one of the other shows we did recently about. I think it was on the show about lies, which will have aired by now. But it comes down to the honesty and and your expectation of what is in the relationship. Like a lot of it, and a lot of it comes down to sexuality in this study. I'll go back and find it if I can find it. Talk amongst yourselves. La 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 la. Right. Based on statistics, same-sex unmarried couples had a lower breakup rate than straight unmarried couples.
How's that going for you, Jeff?
No, I'm not in a relationship.
But Jeff was married too.
I was a same sex.
Yeah,
go.
But I think
Bad joke.
Why does that bit of paper mean so much more? Do you know what I mean? Surely in this day and age,
well, it's fun to do. Some people like to party. I happen to enjoy the party and the free money.
Yeah, but a lot of the time you're throwing parties for other people to attend, and you're having the shit time.
No, I believe it's a business transaction.
Yeah, that's it. It can end up that way.
I think, like, for me personally, I've come out of the back end of thinking marriage was going to validate me in relationship as a milestone for how far we progressed in our relationship. But now
she's frozen in a very awkward spot.
She's frozen. Oh no.
All right, no, you're good. You're good. You're back.
Okay. Yeah, dance it out.
Love it.
Where was I up to? I was just saying that
milestone in your relationship.
I believe.
Oh, come on!
Talk about it.
I want to know.
The milestone for our.
The internet does not agree with your point.
The internet hates you. So basically, what Heidi's saying is that she viewed marriage as a very specific milestone. Going, congratulations, you've succeeded in a relationship. You can now go to the next level. Dillon, gold stars, money, coins, rain.
Exactly. Whereas now, coming out of a toxic relationship, I did a complete motherfucking 180, and I went, "Ooh, I don't need a piece of paper to validate my love for someone." My parents are a prime fucking example. They have been together since day dot. He proposed. My dad proposed to her 3 times. Every time she said no, they're still fucking together, and they're the happiest people I've ever met. Right? It's just a
Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
I mean, need we say more?
Sometimes, sometimes putting an official label on it then puts expectation, like societal expectation,
Definitely.
not only from you but from the outside world. To go, well, you're married. This is how you have to act.
I mean, I wanted to elope.
Yes.
Kyle is the one that wanted the big wedding.
I love that.
And he got, I'm going to tell him, got hammered drunk at our reception. Actually, everyone was hammered drunk at our reception except me. And I had fun, but I feel like everyone else was having more fun than I did.
I feel like that just explains so much about you.
Listen, I had told everyone going into this wedding, when my mom got married, she said, "I don't remember the reception. I was hammered." I said, "I want to take after my mom. I want to get shit-faced. That's all I want to do." And I started off getting drunk, but then everyone wants to talk to the bride. Like, go talk to the groom. Let me drink.
I'm in a corseted dress. Fuck off and leave me alone. I'm trying to breathe.
And then someone spilled red wine all over my dress. So it came out. But someone also threw up in the urinal.
Maybe that's a good omen.
I don't get why you spend that much money on a dress to get it, because every wedding you've gone to, that dress is manky as by the end of it. It's all black around the bottom. You're like, get changed.
Well, we got it cleaned and whatever, to like packed up and put away. So It's up for grabs if anyone needs it. But,
well, you never know. That's my Halloween costume when I come over next year, Katie. I'll get the slim on.
But you know, and I've told Kyle this a million times. I said, even if we never got married, I'd still be with you. I think we would still have our life together. I think we'd still have these fucking kids. And
well, I mean, there's some tax benefits in America, at least, to getting married.
There is.
Know?
At least they having kids. There's an incentive to it now.
I just mean, like, I think whether we got married or not, Kyle and I would still be in the same spot we're in right now. You know,
That's
house,
gorgeous.
kids.
All right, I want to give you another statistic that you can react to. 57% of respondents say they have broken up with someone in person. Now, the breakdown of that 57% is 66% of boomers as opposed to 41% of millennials.
Shock me.
All right, who on the panel is the asshole that's broken up with someone via text, or you've been broken up with via text? All right, Dillon, you can go first. You go first.
Yeah, no, I could definitely speak to this. So I have only had one relationship. It was my first one that was ever an in-person breakup. And I tell you right now, I could not even imagine that actually the text message breakup was more painful than the in-person one. Because the in-person one, while it was absolutely devastating, I could find closure in at least being able to hear someone tell me that it wasn't going to work and that you could defrag your brain from that. You can manage that type of pain. But the last few relationships I've been in have all been broken up with text messages from her. And it every time it's always come at the most unsuspecting moment. Like literally you were in the middle of something. Like one time I was in the middle of work. One time I was on stage doing a set and I got broken up with. Like it's yeah, literally on stage as I'm reading the goddamn joke, I literally said in the mic, "Oh, and she just broke up with me." But anyway, you know, totally like internally like ready to fucking scream, but like I got 5 more minutes on this goddamn stage. I need to keep killing this. I got time.
Oh, was that rude bitch you were with back in the day when we did shows?
No, she broke. Oh no, I cheated on her, but that's another story.
That's real nice.
He was the douchebag there.
Oh, I cheated on her anyways.
I cheated on her, and I do not regret it one bit ever, and I don't. I really don't. Like, that's the one where I'm like, you know what? I took my piece of me. I'm sorry. Like listen. I am not going to sit up here and act like holier than thou. I am the greatest boyfriend on the earth. I will fuck up, but I put so much emphasis in making sure that I have compromised and I have given up and I have put myself in a situation where I can be the best for you. And so, at least to my perspective, because I was never a shitty boyfriend, but when it came down to times when broken down communication where we couldn't even get text messages from each other, and now I'm getting one long ass message that you somehow have taken the time to write, but you can't text me at all to talk to me about what's going on. I don't appreciate that. I appreciate someone who can literally step up to the fucking plate and tell someone you don't love them, because there's more courage in doing that than I think in just copping out and just sending a text message. That's too easy. And not only that, I mean it takes so much energy for me to be able to keep a relationship going. I know that I have to put a lot in because of my, I think, compared to having it happen in person. It's such a pussified way of ending a relationship, in my opinion.
I think it definitely speaks to your character a little bit.
There's
whether
a long
you're willing to
process that.
Yeah, I think it depends on whether you're willing to stand up to. I guess it depends on how much you value the person as well. If you're willing to have that conversation face to face and go, "I've given you this much time," well, personally, I think you owe it to the person to say it to their face. So we've all sat there with those. We've all sat there with those text messages going, "What does that mean?"
Okay,
but what does that mean? What does that mean?
Some of us are old enough where we didn't have texting and we had to write letters. Okay,
Yeah.
We fucking old school. Drop the
this
letter
says
in the
I
mail.
would
letters
take
and
a letter
emails.
over a text message. I would
These
take
days,
a
the
letter over a
letters
text.
and emails are the least popular form of breakup these
Letter,
days.
bitch. Letter.
Letters,
Wrote it in a
yes.
letter. Maria.
I would take that
Jeffrey-
over a text
My
message.
wife.
Jeffrey got his quill out and wrote in a pot of
I
ink.
sure fucking did. I got my little ink dauber out and sat there and wrote, I'm sorry, Chris, your dick is too small and you're a liar.
Two strikes, you're out. Okay, so let's jump forward because I think a lot of times at the end of a breakup, there is always that ray of hope, right? Everyone's like, oh, it'll be okay. They'll get it out of their system and we'll get back together and everything will be fine. A more recent study has indicated that a majority of couples, 70.68%, do not get back together at all in any way, shape, or form. 14.3% of couples have reconciled within the year, only to split up again.
My marriage is Joe's the only person that I didn't
Yeah.
date more than once. Everybody else in my life I dated a couple times.
Yeah.
And it did, I'm a glutton for punishment.
So, is there an ex that you would reconcile with, Heidi?
Absolutely fucking not. Not once. Not once could anyone pay me to. Nah.
Look, she's gonna punch on.
Nah.
She's very angry about it.
The rage.
She's mad.
the
She's getting
internal rage.
angry.
No,
Nah, fuck
absolutely
that.
not. Nah.
Katie, what about you?
No.
No, obviously.
What's she supposed to say?
Well, even if we broke up and I had the chance to get back with an ex, that's probably a no. I'm friends with a bunch of my exes, but would I ever romantically get involved with them again? No. Probably not.
Dillon?
For starters, I think all of my exes are either with someone or just fucking hate me. So, I don't think the chances of getting back with my previous girlfriends is on the table. I mean, as I'm thinking about it now, there's probably like one that maybe we could work it out. But I mean, I've already made the attempt, to try and work it out because it was my last relationship and I still loved her despite the breakdown in communication and the breakdown of love that we had. I loved her passionately and I wanted her to still be in my life, but she had a problem making herself happy. And I don't believe that you can make anyone happy until you can be happy with yourself. It's just never going to work.
Oprah.
You are compromising so much energy into a relationship. You cannot give yourself that peace of mind and being happy with who you are, flaws included. And I grew up a lot from my breakups. Like every breakup I've had has been a character building experience. So I also think to go back to those work I have put on myself and how I've literally have grown from these breakups and have learned how to be a better man and how also not to be fucked with at the same time to end up as the heartbroken guy. Because that's literally been my fucking theme in all of my relationships is be left heartbroken and everyone around town asking, but you're so amazing. You're a wonderful guy. How could you be broken up with? You'd be very fucking surprised. You'd be very fucking surprised. Like, it's not a cakewalk, but I don't think that going back to a relationship that has broken down is healthy. I think it's better that you grow more from what you've learned and you apply that to someone who wants to give you, if not that same amount of love someone has given you, even better. And you come into that relationship now having the right knowledge and the right mindset to be able to nurture that relationship and let it grow.
Further to what
Smart
Dillon's
words.
saying, I think regardless of everything that happened to me, as we know, my reasoning for not wanting to go backwards is because they don't necessarily, well, they don't, I'm going to say it, they don't deserve the version of me I am now. Genuinely, there's been no growth on that side of the fence. This side of the fence, completely different to what they knew. So even if that was, it would never be, but even if that was a thought progression on that side of the fence, absolutely dreaming. No chance in hell.
And Jeffrey, I think we know the answer, but
Well, I mean, and now things are just so different. I have kids and things, and I think, having them rewatch The Love Bug, they say a great thing in that. The guy's like, when you come to the last page, close the book. And I think some people are just meant to be a chapter, and that's okay.
That was deep, girl. I
That was
enjoyed.
nice.
I think
Yeah.
my relationship
That
with
muscle relaxer's kicking in. Sorry, Katie.
I think my relationship with some of my exes has evolved into a friendship, and a really close friendship at that. Like, one of my exes is one of my favorite people, and I feel like I can still talk to him, and I feel like I can still trust him in a different way. I don't think we could ever romantically get back together, just because I think we've just evolved so far past that. And I think it's a really interesting relationship now, and it's a much more healthy relationship now than it ever was when we were romantically involved. However, if I ever became single again, I'm just going to become a Catwoman. I've already got 2. I'm just going to keep them coming. Never going to date again.
I mean, yeah, once someone's been inside you, there's no point in really lying to them, right? Like, what do you have to lose? Well, I mean, I know what your insides feel like.
Oh my god!
That's
like,
so
seriously,
Mountain
like-
Man, right?
I have touched you in ways you'll never know.
I think they would know. That's a bit Night
But
Creeper.
also, like, God, like, you saw me naked in my 20s. You want to see me naked when I'm almost 40? Come on.
What's that one Katy
like a
Perry? She
haunted
did
house.
a song where it's like, isn't it weird? You used to know me, now we're strangers.
Oh, Small Talk.
Yeah, right. I think that song, the first time I heard it, I was like, holy shit. Like, yeah, it's really
Oh,
true.
I mean, while we're on that, quite a bop too. Quite a bop.
Yeah.
And,
A
like,
bop.
and
behind Katy Perry,
not
sorry.
supported. What a great! If you
Yeah.
haven't listened to Katy Perry's Small
Fantastic
Talk,
song.
have a
Katy
listen
Perry
because
still hits.
it'll do for you in a
She's got
different way
hits.
to the one that got away that makes you want to sit there and sob.
What's the other one where it was like, I
She
missed
makes me want to sob because
I
it's
missed
terrible.
you
but-
more than I loved you. I
Oh.
at least the way I took that one was
Jeff's
like
about Katy
after
Perry.
the fact, the relationship ended. Like she didn't really love him, but now I thought that was the best.
It's
I haven't
all
listened to
I
Katy
guess-
Perry in so long.
We're all going to go listen to some Katy Perry now.
No.
So to close it out, I guess that
No.
the breakup tradition slash I
Her
don't know
second
what-
album is fun.
To have
What
some
would-
My True 10 gummies.
The only Katie for me is Katie Underwood.
Oh dear.
The
breakup-
Mantra Dreaming.
Oh my god,
That's
we had to do
right.
it.
And the new how do you say it, Steve? Come on.
We'll talk about her music later. There's some exciting
bitch.
news. There's some exciting news. Well, it'll be out by now. So
Well, hey, since we're on the topic really quick, what is your favorite way to get over a breakup? Since we're talking about like listening to songs that get you all pumped up.
Fuck
after a
their
breakup.
best friend.
Okay, Jeff, we've established that, but is there anything else you'd like to do?
Dylan's having a drink.
Oh,
Fuck
sure.
their father.
Don't forget the
I'm
brother.
gonna be your stepdaddy.
This right
So
here.
Dylan likes- all right, Dylan likes to drink. What about you, Heidi?
Oh,
We
it
do
sounds
this. We
very
go out to
cheesy.
a bar. We get shit faced. We hook up with their best friend.
Okay, I'm
It sounds
asking a
very
serious
cheesy.
question. What is it?
But mine was to just better myself. I wanted to.
She did the full Kardashian revenge body.
Good. Good for
180.
you.
Stop.
Awesome.
Yeah, I lost like
Revenge
18
buddy.
kilos. Just did a real spiritual
Lots of
awakening.
these photos.
Oh, and look at her. She's beautiful.
What, like she's
Stop, Heidi,
constipated?
you
What's
are.
going on with that face?
Yeah. No, I
She's
just.
on
and
Saturday Night
then
Live this weekend
you know
too,
what
man.
The best part of it is that I actually opened up my own dance studio after years of being told you'll never be
Aw,
successful in it.
yay. Okay, you
So-
have the best breakup story.
Yeah, she does.
Thank you.
So
oh,
we gotta
well,
cl-
you haven't heard
Yeah,
the
that-
beginning
that-
of it.
that- yeah.
That's fucking.
Yeah, I like to
amazing.
watch.
There's
Bloody
an after
Squashers.
dark version that
Jeff
we
heard it
will
the
get
other
to
day.
one day. All right, guys, we got to close it out here. Thank you so much for joining us. I guess that we can say that breakups are healthy and a natural part of life. You have to do what is best for you and your spirit, and whatever if will allow you to grow and become a better version of yourself, and make you happy in the long run. Because at the end of the day, you got to be happy. As Mr. Dillon Cody said, you got to be happy first before you can make someone else happy. So thank you everyone for joining us on the round table. Dillon and Heidi,
And
you
life
survived
is
your
short.
first
Don't
round
waste time
table.
on a motherfucker.
Exactly.
Little dick.
Yeah, Jeffrey says no little dicks. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time on the round table. Bye, y'all.
Bye.